We all have dreams. We all have goals. Because you jump on these calls, I know that there's a life that you want to see yourself have. There's things out there that you want to get to, but you got to know we can't throw in the towel on it. We got to keep fighting, keep pushing, keep striving, keep going after the life that you want. That's the key. Most people stop. Most people throw in the towel. Most people stop going after and designing the life that they deserve, designing the life that they want. They accept the life that they have, and that's not us. So you got to continue to push. Les Brown is the person that you heard in there towards the end, just talking about dreams, right? Talking about continuing to push for your dreams. But the underlying theme of that entire video is not letting people, right, speak over you things that are not you. Don't start allowing people to tell you what you can do and what you can't do. Stop taking people's opinions, holding people's opinions higher than your own. These are the things that hold us back from getting to our dreams. We have to be very cautious, ladies and gentlemen, about who we surround ourselves with and what information they are giving us. The messenger leaves, but the message stays. So even if they put that little bit of doubt in you, just that little bit of doubt, like, no one ever does that, or that's not going to work. But I love you, keep trying. And then they're off. Well, now you still got that doubt. They've planted that seed for you. So you have to be very, very cautious of who you're around, what messages they're telling you. And you got to make sure that they are not stealing your dream. There's dream stealers out there, ladies and gentlemen. Dream stealers. People that are here to take your dreams. Funny, sometimes, many times, it's people close to us. It's not with malicious intent that they want to steal your dream. But again, they possibly stop going after their dream. Think about the people you're around. Think about, again, you're the average of the 5 people that you spend time with. So let's think about that. Is everyone that you're around going after their dream? Are all the people, or the majority of the people that you spend time with, are they headed in a direction going after what they want, their dream, their goals? If it's hard for you to think about that person or those people, then that possibly means that the people you're around aren't going after their goals and dreams. So if now you have goals and you have dreams and you have things you want to get to, but the people around you aren't going after theirs, they're never going to be able to see you doing that. They're never going to be able to see it because that's not them. But yet that's what pulls us back. That's what holds us down. That's what permeates our brain to give us that doubt to say, am I doing the right thing? Is this the thing? I don't see anybody else doing it. That's why Les Brown said in there, you got to know that it's possible. You just got to keep telling yourself that it's possible. You got to keep knowing that for yourself, that this is something that will happen for you. Don't get addicted to the approval of others. Don't worry about what other people are saying or thinking or telling you is possible or not possible. That is the easiest way to get away from our dreams, is to listen to other people and their opinions on what we should do or how we should be or where we can go or what's possible for our life. So you got to know, this is in our text 177, Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. Number 142 says, champions are not addicted to the approval of others. Are we addicted to the approval of others? How much do you care about standing out, setting yourself apart? Or do you need to be around the people? Do you need people's approval? Are you looking for still your parents' approval or your family members' approval or your spouse's approval? We can't be addicted to these things if we want to go design the life that we want. This is when you hear people say that are successful, oh, success is a lonely road, right? Getting to the top is a lonely road. Why? It's just because the people that you can't come with you, right? You can't allow their opinions, their thoughts, the things that they will start saying to impact your journey, your destiny, where you're headed. So that's why this is an important thing to pay attention to. Easier said than done. I know a lot of this stuff that's interpersonal, that are these relationship type things, or maybe we got to break away from some negativity or something. Sometimes, most times, it's very difficult, right? I don't ever want you to think it's easy, but because it's not easy, that's why it's worth it, right? So here we go. Champions are not addicted to the approval of others. Bill Gove used to speak to audience around the world where he called about what he called the most debilitating addiction. Bill was convinced this addiction was worse than addiction to drugs, booze, or sex. Bill called it the addiction to the approval of others. This addiction stems from believing I won't be loved or accepted unless others approve of my behavior. It's conformity at any cost. Amateurs operate from an outer frame of reference which values the opinions of others above their own. This is why the middle class makes lousy leaders and even worse salespeople. Amateurs tend to live their lives in first gear for fear of psychological abandonment. The aggregate cost to companies hiring salespersons and executive leaders could be substantially reduced if they would hire for consciousness rather than compliance. Southwest Airlines says they hire for attitude and train for skill. I'd like to upgrade that to hire for consciousness and train for skill. Amateurs operate from an outer frame of reference which values the opinions of others above their own. That sentence right there. Amateurs operate from an outer frame of reference which values the opinions of others above their own. If you are feeling any of that, that's where we have to raise our consciousness. That's where we have to get to the next level. We cannot operate out of an outer frame of reference. What does that mean? That means that the things outside of you are what are determining your circumstances, your life, where you're going, what you're doing. The opinion of your parent, again, the opinion of your spouse, the opinion of a coworker, the opinion of a close friend, of a relative, you cannot value that above your own opinion, your own thought. Of course, you can collaborate. Of course, you can mastermind. We talk about these things. Of course, you can get around people that give you, insight and information and that mentor you and that show you some blind spots and teach you some things. Absolutely. But in general, if somebody is not doing what you want to do or living the life you want to live, or right, taking their life in the direction your life wants to go, their opinion and their approval is not your concern. It's just not your concern. And you have to understand that we have to operate from an internal frame of reference, not an external. Not about what's around you and the circumstances and the people. What's inside? What's your goal? I was just listening. Who was I listening to? I don't know. I was listening to somebody. I was listening to some podcast. I don't even remember. But somebody was talking about the fact that, I don't know. I lost that thought. Anyway, we're back. This is what happens when your brain's moving super fast. Anyway, valuing the opinions of others. Also, I don't know if you understand this line where it says, this is why the middle class makes lousy leaders, even worse salespeople. Because a lot of times in sales, if anybody on the call is building a business or you're in some form of sales, the rejection we can't handle. That's why most people don't get into a form of sales. It's because the rejection really does hurt your feelings. Like it really does make you feel bad. And it makes you feel like you're not good enough and you can't do it. And so you stop. That's really what happens. It's if we didn't value the approval from others, if that rejection wouldn't mean anything. For all the guys on the call, right? Like we've grown up chasing women potentially, right? Like, but you get rejected a lot when you go down that path, right? You reach out, like not always a yes, but we learn how to continue to do it because, right? At the end of the day, whatever that one lady says or whatever that one woman says or girl says to you as a man, you're just like, I don't believe you. You told me I'm ugly. I don't believe you. I believe I'm handsome, right? Like it's all about an internal frame of reference. We can do this in all areas of our life. But you got to know that like you can't value somebody else's opinion above yours. That's the message, ladies and gentlemen. How often are you moving through your life thinking about how this affects somebody else? How they're going to take it? You know, when I talk to a lot of small business owners or people that are starting businesses and we talk about social media, you know, the number one reason most people don't post on social media is because they care about what others are going to say about that. You got some friends, you got some family, you got some people around that are hanging out on social media on all these platforms. Some people you know, some people you don't know, whatever the case is, but we're scared to talk about the things that are most important to us because we're afraid of how people will receive it, what people are going to think of us. If you're switching a career, I know some people go from one industry to another industry. The number one question or the number one thought they have is, well, what are people going to think about me now that I'm doing something different? Well, what are people going to say? They just saw me doing this. Now, what are people going to say? Who cares? Is this going to get you to your goals and dreams? Yes or no? If not, right, then sure, go ahead and value their opinion. If you know the direction that you chose to go now is going to help you get to where you want to go, then who cares what other people think? Who cares what they say? Give them the explanation. I didn't like what I was doing. This is going to help me get to my goals and dreams. That's why I'm going this direction. But little things like this impact us every single day, from, again, what we choose to put out on social media, how we choose to think about our own lives, making phone calls, right? Whatever it is, we're valuing too much other people. And I want you, after today, I want you to make sure that you are valuing yourself, your opinion, internal frame of reference. What do you need? What do you need? Oh, that was that thought. It just came back to me from the podcast. They were saying, how can somebody, there's a lot of people, know so much about what's happening in society, everybody's tea, you know, what's going on with all these different things, and your household isn't in order. Like your family life isn't good. Like you aren't healthy. Like there's so many things that we're concerned with externally, these external frames of reference. Like, oh, what's this person doing? What's that person doing? What's this group of people? And we have opinions on all those things. But do you have an opinion on like your life, where you're going, your value, your dreams, your destiny? Is that getting clearer and clearer to you every day? Is that something that you're focused on, or are we focused on the external instead of the internal? Are we ashamed of the internal? Do we try to escape ourselves? That's why we that's why we get addicted to the approval of others. That's why we need that reinforcement and validation from others. Is it because we're not happy with ourselves? We're not doing the internal work necessary to take our lives to where we need to go. So we allow the external to be the excuses and the things that hold us back. I don't want that to be us. I don't want that to be y'all. We deserve better. You deserve better. Your family deserves better. But you got to understand that this is about you. This is about you. This quote here says, I am responsible to my employees, customers, and business associates to be honest, sincere, and to act with integrity, but I am not responsible for their attitudes or behavior towards me. I hope they like me. It's more pleasant that way, but if not, it's not my problem. Not your problem if people like you. As long as you operate with integrity, with good character, with values, you treat people right, you have good, like, as long as you can sleep at night and you are working from an internal frame of reference to know that you're doing everything that you're called to do, then who cares what somebody else says? Who cares if they don't see your vision? None of that matters. And we got to get over that addiction to the approval of others. It says here for the action step for today, on a scale from 1 to 10 or 1 to 7, 7 being highest, how high is your need to be approved and validated by other people? Be brutally honest with yourself when you answer that question. On a scale from 1 to 7, 7 being the highest, how high is your need to be approved and validated by other people? Next, ask your spouse or best friend to rate you on the same scale and then compare your answers. The person that knows you the most, the people that know you the most. You got to understand, you can't go through life getting to your goals and dreams and needing to be validated by other people and needing people to agree with you and needing people to treat you fairly and to care and to all those things. It's not your concern. You actually don't have control over that. You have no control over other people. You have no control over circumstances. All you have control over is your own actions and your own attitude. That's it. So if you are focused on external things, let's use today to shift it and focus on internal things. Actions. What can you do every day? What can you do every day to take your life to the level you want it to go? What can you personally do in your own abilities? And then 2, what are your attitudes? What's your mindset like? What's your emotional state? How do you get mentally tough? That's what we're talking about. How do we get mentally tough? How to fight through all these things in life? Those 2 things we got to focus on: our actions and our attitude. That's all we got. And stop worrying about the approval of others. I love y'all. I want y'all to win. You're welcome, Diana. You're welcome to all of you. Again, I love serving you in this way. I appreciate all of you for continuing to show up. Again, if nobody else tells you this, I want to see you win. We all deserve to win. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. You got to make sure that you're doing every single thing in your power to chase your dream. Get after your dream. Do not throw in the towel on your dream. And it starts with little things like this. It starts with paying attention to your addiction to approval from others, or how much you have to be validated, or right, how much you care about other people and not just your own opinions. So let's go out there and make it happen. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Friday. Do something that scares you. Do something that scares you this weekend. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Nothing grows in your comfort zone, so let's get uncomfortable. Jump back on Monday. It's Sean or Carlene. They've been holding it down. Shout out to them for doing their work. Shout out to them for continuing to grow and push themselves so they can come and give you guys a message, just as we've been doing. Again, share this with somebody that needs to hear it, and we'll all jump back on Monday.